Welcome back, beautiful soul. Today we're going to do a love reading. So if you found yourself here, there might be a message for you. My name's Annika, and it's going to be a pick a pile today. So this is timeless. The name of the game is pick the pile that your intuition is most called to. And then don't overthink it. First thought, best thought. And I'll do my best to make the pile relevant to as many situations as possible. That being said, if it doesn't resonate, this might not be the reading for you. Only take it if it feels true and helpful. Okay, so 3 piles. We have the vanilla nut tea as pile we're actually going backwards because I want to do this in the order that I pulled them. This is pile 3. We have the hazelnut tea as pile 2. And then we have the French roast tea as pile 1. So take your pick and we will start with pile 1, French roast. Okay, so let's start off with the energy from the archetypes that you embody, because this is another good way to sense if this feels relevant for you. Okay, so for you, we got the strategist, project, counsel, lobby, advise. And so this is the energy of the archetype that is representing you. So we have the 2 4s here. So I'm getting a lot of stability from you, and you have a strong ability to be able to see and witness all the pieces on the chessboard, and from there, like, desire to make a plan that is going to be the best and the most efficient way to get everyone's needs met, to bring everybody forward. And you tend to include the people you care about in said plan. And so you might even look at your relationships in this way, because you hold a lot of stability. You hold a strong container for people. And you also are most likely, through the stability and through the structure, often able to create channels for abundance, because this 4 adds up to 8. So you're a very strong partner to have in terms of holding down, like, creating strength and stability in the earthly plane. So that's one way to tell if this message is for you, is if you feel those energies within you. There's also a lot of golden light shining down, so you're also very connected to the divine and to the celestial realms. And so at the same time as you hold this ability for, like, structure and strategy, you provide wise counsel, but you're able to project and organize celestial energy down into the earthly plane. So you might find that you're the kind of person that a lot of people will come to for advice, because you hold a lot of wisdom, but you don't discount what is happening in the world. Like, you won't give people airy fairy advice that, like, actually will end up effing them over in the physical plane, even though it's, like, gonna be relevant to the more ethereal plane. It's like you consider both, and because of that, you're somebody that, like, you hold a wise counsel. And so people really do trust you to advise, and you're also very convincing, not in a manipulative way, but you're able to like lobby for what you believe in and for your higher ideals because you hold a grounded wisdom. People trust you and trust your advice and trust your wisdom. And because of this, you also might often feel like you kind of need to take the reins on things because you hold the bigger picture perspective. You have a lot of wisdom, but then you're also the rare kind of being who can actually structure, funnel it, channelize it, know where to put the pieces on the chessboard in terms of the earthly resources, and you understand all the realms very well, which is epic. And then what I'm getting for your beloved, whether it is someone you are in partnership with, you're in union with, or it is somebody coming in for you, or somebody that you know and you feel an incoming union with, we're getting a lot of like alchemical, spiritual, mystical energy. So a little bit less grounded, but still very powerful. We have the sovereign and we have the alchemist. So this person loves to feel very free and free in and of themselves. Like they are governing their own reality, and they're also like their own healer, and they are very like transformative. So they're constantly transforming, they're constantly alchemizing energies, both for themselves and then for the planet. And they're constantly elevating their consciousness to new heights and just like transmuting pain into power, transmuting just any sort of dense energy into higher vibrations, awakening their spiritual power and their spiritual gifts on new levels, and like constantly realizing things. Whenever I say realizing, I just get the Kylie Jenner realizing things in my mind, but like they're constantly awakening to more refined levels of their sovereignty and their creative capabilities to govern their own life. So it's very interesting because you are very good at navigating the systems, the governing systems on this earthly plane, but you also do understand these higher celestial energies, but you just are able to channel them using the current structures and setup of the matrix because you understand them well and you use them for your benefit and everybody's benefit. But this person is like about literally like dissolving the matrix and essentially being like a free player in the game, like the enigma in the game. And so maybe this is why you guys are very attracted to each other, because it's a powerful polarity. And this can also, it could seem like, oh, clash, but like also this could be a major power couple if you are to embrace each other's polar energies and use them all to your benefit. Let me see where the tarot is. Okay, cool. Okay, so then if you resonate with that, then this reading is for you, and we will talk about the energies of your love life in general. Okay, so we are getting that there may have been, like there might be a part of you that has been hesitant to, we see that you're very good at strategizing and planning, like it's your thing, but there's this like hesitancy in you to be optimistic enough to want to strategize and plan for the success of your love life. And maybe this is because like things haven't worked out in the past how you've wanted, or like you don't want to be controlling, or you don't want to end up disappointed, or just whatever the reason is, there's been like a side of you that's held yourself back from like visualizing, planning, and strategizing around your love life. And this could be in whatever realm for you, whether you're in a relationship and it's planning for the future, whether you're completely single and it's about like visioning, taking action to meet someone, etc., or whether like there's something new that's sparking in your life and you're kind of holding yourself back from being the strategist for taking it to the next level. There's been a hesitancy there, and there is this energy of like, you are so powerful and so creative, and you hold the fire that is sparking and lighting the unfolding of your 10 of Pentacles, which is ultimate abundance in this earthly plane. And you essentially hold the creative power to make this happen. And so the cards are basically saying, don't hesitate to plan and to strategize and to vision what needs to happen to create the love life, the union that you really desire, that is going to be the pinnacle of this 10 of Pentacles, the life of abundance that you know you're meant to live. Don't be so attached to the outcome, the specific person, the specific outcome, but let yourself, but be more like process oriented around letting yourself imagine, vision, and blueprint what you really desire, and then doing what you need to do to be the part of that union, to be the partner that shows up in that union. Show up for your part of like whatever the strategy is, and then surrender like the exact outcome in terms of like the person, the time and place, exactly what they're doing, and just know that like the mirror will show up for you. Embrace your creative fire, your ability to strategize and take action, and put the value not in somebody else's hands necessarily, but within your ability to hold that side within yourself, and then let that be what brings you fulfillment, and then let the rest unfold as it's meant to, because we're getting that you actually, this is the Wheel of Destiny, and you actually play a part in making this wheel spin, because you're very powerful. And so the advice is basically to stopping yourself from using your power because you're afraid that you won't get exactly what you want. It's not about getting exactly what you want. It's about using your power and then letting the Wheel of Destiny spin, and then trusting in where the wheel lands. That's that. So I'm excited for you. That's pile 1. Let me know if it resonated. Much love. Catch you in the next one. Okay. Pile 2. This is the French roast. Wait, sorry. I think this is the hazelnut. You're the hazelnut. Right? Okay. That's what we're going with. So we're going to start off with the archetypal energies. So if this resonates with you, then this is your reading. If it doesn't, there might be another reading in the future that's for you. Okay. So for you, oh my gosh, this one was so interesting. Okay, so for you, we're getting the Advocate. You're giving major justice energy here. See that sword, see the scales. You're here to witness the truth from the neutral space. So you're beloved, and this is whether you're with somebody already, whether you have your eye on someone, or you're totally single, and this might be an energy that is coming in for you. And so this person is the seeker. And so they kind of have this energy of, they are like on a journey of seeking for answers and uncovering clues. They might be learning a lot about themselves and about life. and being very connected to that journey of discovery of self and of the world, whether it be in a more general sense or in the sense of like esoteric symbols, teachings, all of these things. But they basically are on this journey of discovery. And there also may be a situation here where like there's some sort of like karmic situation. So maybe something between you two or between them and just like other life circumstances where they're kind of facing the karmic the karmic understanding of actions that they have taken and the part they've played in certain things. And we are all a victim to this, watching our own karma play out and learning from our mistakes. So it seems like within this person's seeking, they're starting to see and understand the part that they've played in certain situations. So whether it be with you or whether it be with other things in their life, they are kind of coming to this place where like they're seeing it and they perhaps are going to like start taking responsibility to balance this out and clear this for themselves. And then once clearing it, acting in different ways that stop to create these karmic cycles, because they're discovering on a level deeper than they previously have how connected everything is and how everything draws back to them. Because when you're a seeker, the farther you go out, the more you realize that it all comes back to you and that it's all this great big grand mirror. You understand this. You have a high level of wisdom and intelligence, and you might be a little bit more spiritually advanced in the sense of like just your conscious understanding. And of course, we're all mirrors for each other. So this is just getting into the nitty-gritty of like what's happening from a dualistic perspective. But you may have found yourself with this other person, or when they do come in, like you have a lot of love for this person, but you also are starting to see more clearly, or you will see more clearly after, you know, some of the initial honeymoon phase fades away, if this is something that's coming in the future. So take it how it resonates. You're starting to see these patterns, and you're starting to see these places too where they've created this karma, either towards you or towards other situations in their life. And at first, perhaps you looked past all of this because you just felt a lot of love for them. You have this soul love for them. You do connect with them. You do understand them. You do see the infinite nature of who they truly are. But then the mind starts to come in, and the judgment starts to come in, and that kind of starts to take over. And this card isn't encouraging you to look over somebody else's faults, but if somebody does desire to grow and shift and change, you help them by seeing the highest nature of who they truly are, and by staying aware and discerning within the mind and within your view, but holding a projection of them from the heart space where there's a neutral, unconditional love, and then like true action can always be taken, whether you'll know what to do from the neutral space of the heart. The judgment of the mind might be like condemn this, that, whatever, and then the neutral space of the heart is like love, stay, or like love but go. You know what I mean? Like it'll tell you the truth, but no matter what, it's through this energy of love, which is always uplifting and elevating no matter what the outcome is. And then also that energy, all the energy we put out, which you know, because you're justice, you hold the scales, you know about karma, what you put out is going to be what you receive back, no matter what the other person has done. So there's this energy. I mean, possibly this person is coming to a level, like I said, of understanding where they are desiring to grow and learn, and then you're like, great, I love that for you, and you hold this unconditional love for them, and this is like a thriving point in the relationship, because you know there are always areas where we all want to grow, and to like be with somebody who's willing to grow, that's the number one, to be honest with themselves, take responsibility and be willing to grow. Like, that's the baseline of positivity in your relationship. It's not that like the person has never made mistakes, because God knows you both will make mistakes. And if a person's willing to grow, you don't know, they could literally just like boom, 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 quantum leap acceleration. So please take this all how it resonates with you. But this is the energy. The message for you is to get back in the neutral space of the heart, see through the eyes of God, and then make the decision that is correct from that space of knowing neutrality and love within you. And then this person will continue to seek, will continue to grow, will continue to uncover, whether you guys do it together or not. Okay, so those are the energies. If you resonate, this is for you. We also have tarot, which was saying many similar things, but also, oh my gosh, okay, so it was also saying some other really interesting energies, which is that, I'm hearing some tunes playing outside. Okay, so we got first the, let me just like refresh my memory here about which ones came first. I believe it was the, oh my God, yeah, we literally got justice here too. Oh, that's so, so fascinating. Okay. I'm not going to cut this out, so just like hang tight for a second, because I just remember I had some like really interesting insights about this, and I just want to make sure that I get them all to you. Right, okay, because the Hangman. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the Hangman came out reversed, and then we got like the Nine of Cups. So the energy, this was the initial energy. And the Nine of Cups is all about like you getting what you want. You're getting the blessings. You're getting the fulfillment. And the Hangman is all about seeing things from a different perspective, like from divine insight. It's like you have this pause and then you're getting this divine insight. And with it reversed, I was really getting that you've had a rigid perspective around the way that you're looking at things in your love life, and that is what is keeping you from getting what you want, is not seeing things from the neutral heart space, the divine energy, basically seeing things from a higher perspective, which you are more than capable of doing. But perhaps that like in your love life is the one place that you've refused to do it, versus like you actually doing it in other places in your life. And so your mind is so powerful, and the way you choose to see things is so powerful. And like we want to hold the heart and bring coherence, because that is where we can truly be living in alignment with our higher self and our highest destiny, and like actually get what we want out of life. But I see that you've been a little bit stuck in your mind and in a space of like left brain judgment when it comes to your love life. And that's actually keeping you from getting the fulfillment that you want. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the great thing about that is that you can flip the prophecy to start to see what you actually want to experience. And there's this great yogic teaching in relationships that like you want to constantly focus on what is good about the person, because your consciousness is the creative material of this universe. So the more what you focus on will grow. And oftentimes we make the mistake of focusing on the bad things in other people, which genuinely makes our experience of that in them expand. And we'll blame it on them, but it's really mirroring back to us what we're focusing on. So you always want to see the highest, not me getting spooked. You always want to see the other person in their highest light. That's the best gift you can give somebody else and yourself, because you're the one who's experiencing them and they're simply a mirror. And so we're also, we're getting so much of this energy because we really got this energy of, first of all, we got this energy of death. And I was really getting this, and death is basically transformation and growth and leaving something behind. And so the energy is very much like leaving behind an old way of being in relationships. And it could, you can take this how this resonates, because it could be like you completing a cycle with an actual person in a relationship, but it could also be you completing a cycle of how you are showing up in relationships. If you've been in the habit of being in more of a judgmental space, to really practice coming back into the heart space, the neutral place of love, and like projecting the highest, focusing on the highest aspects of the people that you are in relationship with. And if you're not in a relationship and you want to be in one, to flip your perspective around any victim mentality you have around love, why relationships don't work out for you, blah, 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 blah. All of that stuff, every time you do it, literally remember that like your beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. And maybe they didn't start there, but sometimes they start as like patterns, samskaras, vrittis, these patterns of consciousness that we picked up from our past lives, that we carry from our past lives. But the only way to change them is to change your thoughts, change your perspective, and change your consciousness, which you have free will to do. But when you constantly tell yourself the story that like things have been a certain way for you and so they just are that way, you are literally picking up the pen and like continuing this story instead of writing a new one. And we come here to like smooth out those vrittis, smooth out those patterns in consciousness that we feel a victim to. That's our fate. Pick up the pen. Remember that we're the writer, the actor, the producer, the director, the watcher, and change our own destiny. And so this is your call to do that, whether you're in a relationship or not. And maybe your relationships are going great and you could make them even better, because we do have this energy. We have some really powerful energies in here. Like, you're a very powerful being. We have four major arcana, because we have death, we have justice, we have the high priestess, and we have judgment. And so these are all very, very spiritual cards. So this is a major, actually, I'm like filming this the night before the eclipse. This is a very big, major turning point in relationships for you that very much has to do with your destiny. Both of these cards also add up to 6, which is, it's destiny. It's the magic maker. It's the arc line, which is the halo that holds the destiny. And it is also so much about nurturing, partnership, and meditative projection. It's this idea that like, you will experience what you project, and you can choose what to project, and you can also rewrite what's in the arc line and rewrite your destiny. So this is very much a call to like take back your divine power, especially in the realm of relationship. And we have the high priestess here. This is trust your intuition and inner knowing. So when it comes to people, trust your intuition, but also know that like the high priestess communes with the etheric realms and also like brings visions into reality. So like your most divine relationship, you can project it into this plane through the power of like your divine sight. And you are meant to be in a very like powerful spiritual relationship. We also have justice, which is also using your intuition as your moral compass. And so this justice was so much like this energy of the advocate. Like, you are very fair, you are very just, and you are very wise, but sometimes that can put you into the space of like, maybe A, thinking you're always right, and then B, like judging other people as like never being like as with it with you as you, but like the call is almost to get, like I said, get more into the heart space and start to relate to things from a place of like energy over such almost like right and wrong. Like it's time to transcend the space of right and wrong that like you might see the world through a little bit and rise above. We have Judgment, which is like the divine call to rise above the duality to a space of transcendence. And this is where like true awakening lives and where true atonement lives, because you realize that like oh my God, you guys. I don't know why I keep hearing noises. I'm literally like outside, so obviously I would, but anyway. Okay. This is where like it's also like it's the divine's job to like call judgment. So basically the idea too is like if you don't want to be with somebody, do not be with them. But if you do want to be with them, hold a powerful high projection for the relationship and like hold a space of unconditional love. And from that space, like this is again, this energy, this came out reversed. And so like the Five of Pentacles is basically this illusion of being like left out in the cold and in lack, but it's an illusion. And so the energy once again here is like create the trance of what you want to experience and like live in that trance and stop. Like this is going to be the death of you like creating what you don't want in your love life. And it's going to be the birth of you recognizing your power to create what you want, taking control back over your third eye, your arc line, your capacity to project. And this is very much so if like only applicable, I mean, this is applicable in no matter what your relationship you're in, but like still choose wisely and use your intuition to and like your heart to choose somebody you really want to be with. But then once you make that choice, to use your power to project positively for that person and for the relationship. And this is going to, and also, yeah, support yourself before you support others, because you need to be able to own your own emotional power and like your own creative power and like fill up your own cup before you like solve somebody else's problems or even like call judgment on them, you know? So this is very much calling you to focus on what you want to experience, giving it to yourself and creating this like healthy environment for your relationships. And then knowing that like the person will either show up and mirror you or somebody who will come who will, because you have so much power. And when you have so much power, you have to use it wisely, because it's for your own benefit and for everybody else's benefit as well. So I honor you, I see you, I love you. This is your message, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, pile 3. Wow. Okay, this has gotten quite long. You're Vanilla Nut. Okay, Vanilla Nut. Let's see what's in it for you. Okay, so for the archetypal energy for you, I'm getting like the lion heart. So you're brave, you are courageous, you are a warrior. You know how to, like, this is what's comfortable for you, is to endure, to confront, to call upon your strength and to be daring and to prevail against all odds. Like, look at you. You're powerful. And then the energy I'm getting for your beloved, whether you're with them or they're coming in, is the magic maker. So this person, this is a master number 33. This person knows how to create. They know how to manifest. They know how to work with the unseen realms to create things in the seen realms. And so they have a very powerful energy. They're captivating. They have powerful touch. They're very tantalizing. They're also very like sensual and sensational. And so you guys are both very, very powerful. And so whether you are, you know, the yin, I mean, the more like, whether you're like a man, woman, anything else, this is kind of like the energy that you hold, and this is the energy that they hold. So this, the magic maker could totally be like the masculine polarity in the relationship, but they're just like very magical. And like the feminine energy could just be like, you're more comfortable in like the dare, confront, whatever, or the opposite. So it doesn't really matter. Those are just the archetypal energies. But what I'm getting here too is that in your love life, like, you've felt held back from being vulnerable and being in a receptive energy. And everything will change when you let yourself be vulnerable. And vulnerable does not mean insecure. Vulnerable is strong. And so it's kind of like this switch from you thinking like the daring and the prevailing and the enduring is just something you do in the physical realm. But to be daring on the emotional level, on the creative level, on the intimate level with another is to be vulnerable and to allow yourself to receive, to sit back and receive. And so being open about how you feel, what you want, giving time to your creative endeavors that your soul is calling you to dive into. That is a whole energetic vortex that is very attractive, very magnetic. And then the Empress, it's like receiving, knowing that you are so worthy to receive it all and sitting back and letting it come to you. So this is the energy that you're being called to embody. And when you do, you know what? And this is like almost for like the more yin and feminine energy. If that is you, you're being called to embody this. And if you are feeling like you are the more masculine energy in this polarity, then it is creating a space where the feminine energy feels safe to do this. And so sometimes that means like you also being willing to be vulnerable and you also being receptive, but like you also just opening a space for vulnerability and receptiveness for her. So basically, if you're the more feminine energy, the second that you start to do this, you're going to feel like you don't have to toil as much or work as hard, but you're still going to get everything you want. And actually, not only that, it's actually the only way you're going to get everything you want. You're going to go from feeling like you're working so hard and not getting anything to sitting back, letting somebody else do the work and receiving everything. And then this is actually going to attract to you the polarity of this energy, which is the King of Pentacles, who's going to want to come in and provide and feel a purpose around providing in this way for you. So whether you're in a relationship already and you just want the person to show up like this, so you have to embrace your vulnerability and receptivity and creativity and beauty, or you just want to attract somebody who's in this energy, no matter what, this is the answer to shifting your energy, not feeling like you have to work to get what you want, because that's not how it works in relationships. And then if you are the more masculine polarity, the energy is to be willing to show up and put in the consistency to make her feel safe enough to be in the receptive mode. And this doesn't even have to be girl or guy. I'm just using these terms, but like, if you just feel like you're the masculine energy in this, be consistent. That's the energy. Be consistent even if you're more into like a light consistency because you don't have all the time in the world, be consistent in the way that you can, because that is what will make the feminine energy feel safe enough to be your Queen of Cups, your Empress, everything that you want. Because a feminine energy nervous system does not do well with like just such erratic in and out, you know, like a male nervous system oftentimes like will do really well with that, and they just will be so focused when they're not with them. But like, you need to understand that we have very different makeups, and like a woman is actually supposed to be so much healthier when her nervous system like knows what to expect, or at least knows what to expect something, because that's like how we're built on a level of like biology and fertility. Like, you need to have somebody who's going to show up to make sure the whole fam is taken care of. It's like literally how we're built. So don't hold it against us. It's literally biology. And, you know, of course, I think it's important for everybody to understand themselves and emotionally regulate themselves. But like, there is a certain level of biology that leads to how men are and how women are. And if you really love someone or care about someone, you can make them feel safe, you know? And then in the opposing way, you can also make people feel free. Okay, I'm hearing more noises now, but we're safe, we're protected always. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for protecting my car, protecting me, and for bringing a lot of love in for this collective. I feel a lot of good things coming. Let me know if you resonated with this reading. I love you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Au revoir.